Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another live stream. As always, guys, there is plenty to get into. Wasn't expecting to be back today. I was thinking, it might be a bit of a quiet day, but no, there's been quite a lot going on, mainly in the way of transfer news. Yes, we're still 35 days away from the January window open, but that hasn't stopped transfer news coming out. Chelsea transfer plan, being revealed or supposedly being revealed by Matt Law. Details there about maybe 2 or 3 signings for the first team coming in, but signings are only going to be in conjunction with players going out. Apparently, Chelsea have signed Brazilian teenager Gabriel Moscardo from Corinthians. Again, unconfirmed in an official capacity, but supposedly it's been confirmed on a Brazilian kind of sports show by a former Corinthians player, which also explains why he was absent from the last Corinthians match, was because he's joining Chelsea. Again, no official confirmation there. We'll dive into all that. Potential news on Broja's future, Madueke's future, strikers. Giving my thoughts on whether it's too soon for Reece James to be captain, and how Chelsea being soft. All these things, guys. There's a lot to dive into, as always. So let's make sure that we are running those likes up, people. Make sure you are hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel if you are new around here as well. Past the 7K mark last night, but the work doesn't stop there. We keep going on to the next milestone. So if you're not subscribed and you're locked in now, make sure you do hit that subscribe button. Guys, run the likes up. We need to hit minimum 50 at least. Aim is 100 as always. So as soon as you come in, hit that like button. Make sure you do it. Subscribe if you're new around here. As always, get involved in the chat as well, guys. And yeah, there's loads to dive into tonight. Another packed show, which should be fun as it always is. Let's say hello to a few people in the chat. RD, big up, brother. Hope you're good. Unfortunately, we don't have captain material in our team. I think we do in Thiago Silva, but outside of that, I don't look at there being any obvious candidates. There are people that could certainly grow into that role, but in terms of ready-made captains, I think there's really only Thiago Silva. The rest of the guys are guys that could potentially grow into that role. But other than that, I just don't see it. Personally, get to Enzo. Fair. I'm going to get into the captain stuff in more detail. I've got our resident Man United troll in the chat. We'll see you next week at Old Trafford. It seems to remember that you got taken apart by Newcastle 3-0 in your own grounds. So yeah, and you go to Newcastle this weekend. So let's see how you get on then. It was the right decision. Fair. Signed another Brazilian teenager. Yet we're going to dive into that. Said it before the season even started. Reece is a crybaby. Fair. Yes, in Kunku 18, big yourself up, but I hope you're good. Well, yes, supposedly we are going to dive into that. Rayan, big up yourself as well. King Mo, big up. Yeah, well, imagine having a stadium that's, falling apart with a leaking roof and piss everywhere in it. Imagine not investing in a training ground in 20 years. Imagine winning no Premier League title in over 10 years. Imagine your last Champions League being in 2008. Imagine all these things. So yeah, we might not be doing so well at the moment, but yeah, I tell you what, I'd rather be in Chelsea's position right now than be in Man United's position. Yeah, you might be ahead of us in the table, but the long run, we're looking at a much better position than you do. Yeah, possibly dive into some Osimhen stuff. I think James is fine. It's not too early, but we do need to give him his team time. Give this team time. All this frustration will end soon. I promise you. Give them 2 years. Anyway, right. Let's dive into things, people. I suppose we should start with. Let's start with a transfer news then, guys, because, it's funny how all this news comes out. I mean, maybe this would have come out anyway, regardless of whether we'd won or not on the weekend. But at the same time, a lot of transfer news coming out. Let's start with the news on Brazilian teenager Gabriel Moscardo, the Corinthians midfield player. Now, so we know that Chelsea had bids rejected in the summer. Where is it? Let me just find it now to bring it up. No, I'm not sure I've brought it up. Let me just find it now. This is it here. So here we go. So supposedly, this is according to one source in Brazil, that Corinthians have agreed a 26 million euros deal with Chelsea for 18-year-old midfielder Gabriel Moscardo. I don't know an awful lot about the kid. We obviously had bids rejected in the summer. It's clearly a player that Chelsea like. It's clear that, supposedly, according to a former player that used to play for Corinthians, has his own kind of sports show over in Brazil, that apparently this is done, and it was the reason that he missed the last game, the Miss Corinthians last game, because he was finalising a move to Chelsea. Again, we've had no further, news or anything from more official outlets on this deal potentially being done. I mean, there's been nothing said by Fabrizio Romano or anyone like that. It is still very much just this one source from Brazil. But again, I wouldn't be completely surprised on this one. If that was the case, it wouldn't surprise me. It seems to be what we're doing right now at the moment. So yeah, look, I just don't understand it. I just don't understand what the plan is here. I get it. I get it that we are signing young players because we want to kind of cut out the middleman and get these players before they become sort of 50, 60, 70 plus £1 million players. I understand that, but it's quite clear in midfield that if this is true and Moscardo does end up joining Chelsea, where's the planning here? Because let's have a look at this in midfield. Right, we've got Conor Gallagher, Enzo Fernandez, Moises Caicedo, Romeo Lavia, who's not even kicked a ball for us. We've then got Andre Santos and Cesare Casadei, both on loan. So that's 6 midfield players already at the club. And then if we sign Moscardo, which supposedly we have, that's a 7th. Where in the next few years is Moscardo getting any minutes at this point in time? Where's he getting minutes? I forgot, and Ugochukwu as well. So hold on a second. So Gallagher, Caicedo, Enzo, Ugochukwu, Lavia, Santos, Casadei, and then Moscardo potentially to add into the mix as well. So we've got 7 midfielders on the books already. 2 in Casadei and Santos who are out on loan. We've invested in because we believe in for the future. Same with Ugochukwu as well. And then we're going to throw Gabriel Moscardo into the mix as well. Like, I don't know an awful lot about this kid. Reportedly, he is pretty good. Like, fair enough. I just don't understand the plan here. If it's purely to buy him and loan him out for a few seasons and he never plays with Chelsea and we make a profit, then okay, fair enough. I guess it's one way of doing business. But I just feel what is the plan here? It's quite clear that this guy is probably never going to play for Chelsea. I could be wrong on that, but if he does come, I don't know if he'll ever wear the blue shirt. I don't know if we're going to be in a situation where maybe he just ends up on countless loans and we sell him on for a profit potentially in a few years' time. A lot of these players will have resale value, but I just don't know. I just don't know I just don't understand what the plan is. Like, what's the plan? We've got all these midfielders, and yet we seem to be adding another one to the mix. I just don't understand it. Like, if you're going to be making signings, to come in January or whatever it is, they need to be signings that are going to come in and make a difference right now. We can't be having any more of these signings. Might be good in 2 or 3 years' time. Like, I mean, seriously, why? Like, what? I just don't get the plan. I don't know a lot about this player. Sorry, but it just doesn't make sense. I mean, I guess who needs wins when you can just sign wonder kids all the time? It's a really, really strange one. It's a really strange one. We've got Andre Santos, who's basically almost lost, and now we're going for this Moscardo. Granted, Moscardo looks quality though. We've got 8. Yeah, as I was just saying, we've got 8 midfielders now, right? 5 of which, even let's say, right, even if Conor Gallagher ends up leaving the club in the next year or two, right, you've still got Lavia, Enzo Caicedo, Ugachukwu, Santos, and Casadei. There's still 6 players there, and Moscardo would be a 7th. So right now we've got 8 players on the books. Even if 1 or 2 left, there would still be 6 midfielders on the books. I just don't see the pathway. I just don't see the planning. It doesn't make sense. We were trying to trim the squad down, and now we're adding, so many different players, so many more players in the midfield. Like, we don't need all these players. I just feel that we are massively stockpiling. We need signing for first. No, yeah, I agree. John Henry in the chat. Big up to the Liverpool owner. Yeah, he may well be, but the reality is like there's no clear pathway to the first team at Chelsea for him if he ends up coming in the next 2 or 3 years. There just absolutely isn't. He's going to end up getting lost in the system, going out on multiple loans, and I'd make a prediction now. Imagine if this does happen, I'm going to make a prediction now. I don't even, outside of pre-season potentially, I don't think he plays a competitive game for Chelsea Football Club if we sign him. I really don't. I don't know what. I don't know. I don't know what the thinking is behind this. I don't know what the plan is. I understand that some won't play for the club and they'll just be sold on for profit. But is that what we're doing? We're just going to sign players and sell them for profit. If that's part of the plan, then fair enough. But in terms of actually using some of these players that we're signing, I just don't see it. I just really don't see us being in a position to use Gabriel Moscardo in the first team at all. It's ball like every signing we made. There's no point stockpiling. No, exactly. We're stockpiling. People seem to be forgetting about Andre Santos and Casadei and stuff now. They just think, oh, Moscardo, another one of those players. It's not really making an awful lot of sense. I think it has to be for profit-based reasons. I just think that's kind of what we're doing now. But it's almost making a little bit of a mockery of the situation and kind of what's going on. Ends, big up my guy. I hope you're doing well, brother. But yeah, look, again, this is, as I would say, this has not been confirmed by any more of the official outlets. It doesn't mean that it's any less true. But yeah, until we start getting a few more confirmations from more reputable sources, as kind of the main people, then again, I think we have to take this one with a slight pinch of salt. Yeah, again, this could be right, but it looks like it could be heading in that direction, Moscardo. But as I've been saying, I just don't understand it. We're stockpiling. I don't see the need for these players. And yeah, that's kind of, I think, where we are at right now on the Moscardo situation. People, I think a lot of Chelsea fans feeling the same. He may well be a very good player. He may well go on to be a very good player. But I just do not understand what the planning process is. What is the planning process? I just don't get it. Again, another one here, and this I think you'll see this. I think this will be confirmed in the next few days. I'd imagine it'll be confirmed this week, but apparently Chelsea sources are saying it's not a done deal yet with Corinthians for Moscardo, even though talks are happening. So yeah, look, obviously maybe it's not, maybe they might have jumped the gun slightly there, but it looks like it's heading in the right direction. I would just question why are we doing this? What is the plan here? I don't understand it. I really don't. Look, I get it. Bringing some youngsters in, that's fine. I totally understand that. I understand the route that we've gone down in terms of building the first team squad. I understand the plan behind that. I understand the thinking behind it. What I don't understand the thought process behind or the thinking behind is signing all these young players. I just don't get it. We're stockpiling at the moment. We're signing so many. And as I said, when you sign so many players of the same age, young players need minutes to develop, and they're all going to be taking those minutes off each other. Some are going to develop at a faster rate than others because they're getting the minutes. And this is one of the major downsides to sort of the recruitment route we've chosen to go down is the fact that it creates a bottleneck effect, and a lot of young players who need minutes just simply aren't going to get them. So I think we're going to be in a situation where a lot of these players that sign I don't think very many of them will end up playing for Chelsea. But that's the way football's going right now. It's signing youngsters, it's selling them on for profit, and it's using players that may actually never play for the club. But it is what it is, isn't it? It's kind of the reality of the situation right now. But look, mixed reports on Moscardo. One report in Brazil saying it's done. Chelsea sources saying it's not quite done yet. I would expect when stuff like this starts coming out, you would expect that a deal is very, very close and Moscardo will become a Chelsea player. But yeah, I'm not particularly pleased about it. I'll be brutally honest. It just doesn't make sense. It just feels like a wasted signing. But yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. We need players for right now. We know that we need players for right now. Look, again, we're probably going to get some players for now in January, but it just feels like our priorities aren't really in the right place at this point in time. That's kind of how it feels to me. The priorities aren't in the right place. That's the reality for me. It's a business aspect now. Chelsea are not becoming a football club. It's just business. I mean, look, football clubs are businesses at the end of the day. And look, if this is one arm of the business route we're looking to go down, then okay, I understand it from a business perspective. I just don't think from a footballing point of view, it really makes an awful lot of sense. This is a young kid that is going to leave Brazil, probably come to Chelsea, and probably never play for us. But I think we're going to end up seeing more and more of those, and that's just the reality of the situation that we are in right now. Guys, 20 more likes until we are at 50 likes, people. There's 37 in the building. The numbers are going up as we get further into the show. Please keep smashing the like button. It's really important, guys. It's the quickest and easiest way to support myself and the channel. Again, if you want to donate via the super chat function, it is greatly appreciated. Guarantee your comment gets read out. And if you wish to become a channel member as well, hit the link in the description and support myself and the channel for just $1.99 per month. As we get more members, we'll do member-only shows and things like that. So if you're feeling generous, guys, you want to become a channel member, support myself, then you can hit the link in the description. But yeah, keep running those likes up, people. Keep getting your thoughts in the chat. It is greatly appreciated. And it's all good fun. But yeah, 20 likes to go, people. Keep smashing that like button, guys. Yeah, look, football's a business. Football is a business first and foremost. Absolutely looking at ways of making money. But I just feel this stockpiling of young players I just think it's a little bit unnecessary. I think we're just going a bit over the top with it. I'll get onto the January window shortly. It's a disgrace. Let's just be honest. Like, we need players for the now, not the future. Yeah, I agree, mate. I think we are signing too many youngsters. That for me is the reality of the situation. The crux of the situation here is I don't mind us doing it, but we are doing it. We are doing way too many, and it almost feels like we're not really focused on what is really important and what the task at hand is in regards to the first team. Yes, Ethan, hope you're good, brother. I haven't been in the lives for a while. Remember when I used to watch in the summer all the time? Nah, I appreciate it, mate. Good to have you back. Yeah, the summer was good fun. We were here every single day throughout the summer doing the streams for transfer news. Not every day during the season, close to every day as possible. But guys, come January window, we'll be back again every day with the January transfer window streams. We'll be back. So yeah, make sure obviously you're locked in for them in 35 days' time, starting on New Year's Day. I'm sure there'll be a lot of hungover people tuning in then. But anyway, imagine coming bottom of your Champions League group. But yeah, good stuff. We need to focus now. I get what they want to do. Let's see what the 2 or 3 signings will be. Yeah, I think that's also fair. Yeah, they're done tomorrow night. They're finished. Or Wednesday night, whenever it is. But yeah, look, let's move away from the Moscardo stuff. Again, I'm disappointed in it, but you know, what can we do? And let's move on to the January transfer window stuff. Obviously, a Matt Law article coming out with an update on Chelsea's January transfer window plan. So let's dive into that, people, because what would the Chelsea stream be like without talking about transfers? Because that's what that seems to be our go-to thing. We're good at those, not much good at anything else at the moment. And an article from Matt Law that came out about an hour or so ago. Chelsea looking at making 2 or 3 first-team signings in the winter transfer window to boost Mauricio Pochettino's squad. But the club want to offset any signings with at least the same number of departures so that the squad does not grow out of control. I think that's obviously important or an obvious thing to say. That now that we've done the bulk of our spending on the first-team squad, it's very much now, I think, signings are going to be on a sort of a one-in, one-out basis, which is the right thing to do. Otherwise, we end up in a situation with a massively bloated squad. Yeah, look, I think 2 or 3 first-team signings, I could absolutely see it. In terms of positions, what can I see? Obviously, a striker. I think a centre-back's been talked about, and potentially a left-back as well. So that for me would be the 3 positions that I think would be potentially being looked at. I know centre forward definitely, and centre back, and I think the third one, if there is a third signing, because it says 2 or 3. If it's 2, it's striker, centre back. If it's 3, it's striker, centre back, and left back. In my view, but these like the signings are not the important thing. What's really important is focusing on fixing what is currently wrong with this team on the pitch. So that's obviously that's kind of the first bit of news on that one there. In terms of players who might be going out the door, I think it's quite obvious about who might be going out the door. No surprise to hear that Chelsea will again listen to offers for left-back Ian Martin, who turned down a move back to Burnley during the summer. Obviously, Chelsea, we activated a clause in his contract to extend it by a further year so that he's out of contract, not at the end of this season, but at the end of next season. Malang Sarr remains up for sale. The forgotten man. Didn't realise it was kind of easy to forget that he's still at the club. Surely someone's going to come in and take this guy off our hands, or maybe we just lose him for a free at the end of next season. But I'm sure there'll be some suitors somewhere. There has to be. Up for sale. While depending on incoming business, the likes of striker Amanda Broja and winger Noni Madueke could consider their immediate futures as well. There was an article today in the Daily Mail linking Amanda Broja with a potential move to Fulham. I think if a striker does come in, that I wouldn't be surprised if Broja ended up leaving the club. If you look at it, Nicholas Jackson's is clearly going to be here for the next few years. Christopher Nkunku can also play in that 9 position. And if we do sign an elite level striker, then that pushes Broja further down the pecking order as well. And probably going to end up in a situation where he is going to really struggle to get minutes that he wants to push his career on. So, yeah, that would be my thoughts on that situation. What's this? Fab just said on Kick it's not a done deal, and also not even a bid went in. Yeah, no, fair enough. But I think we are looking at trying to get this deal done. I expect this deal will be done. But if Fabrizio said that on Kick, then fair enough. But I think Moscardo could still end up at Chelsea. But let's wait and see. In answer of this question, I think Ian Martin will go. Martin and Chalobah are 2 names that I think will almost certainly leave in January. And then again, if a striker comes in, Broja potentially. And look, Madueke is an interesting one, because I wouldn't necessarily sell him, but I think a loan deal could be of huge benefit to him. Again, we've got Angelo, who's out on loan at Strasbourg, who's doing very well. We had a good pre-season. I think, if I had to pick 3, Martin, Chalobah. I mean, does Malang Sarr count as one of the 3? I think Sarr probably goes in January as well. Maybe those 3. A potential loan for Noni Madueke and maybe Broja as well. But I think Madueke and Broja would be more likely in the summer. I think that's how I would be. That's how I would be looking at that one. But if we move on to some other stuff, that again, is that the one that I was on? No, not that one. Apologies, that's the wrong one. Let me just bring up the right one, guys. This one here. So Matt Law saying that there still remains doubt over the long-term future of Conor Gallagher, who is out of contract in June 2025. Although it is thought Pochettino would be against considering January bids for him and wants Chelsea to agree a new contract with the midfielder. If Chelsea are unconvinced about Gallagher long-term, we still need to agree a new contract with him to protect his value. And Chelsea remains coy on their plans for Gallagher, despite the player making it clear that he would like to sign a new deal. I think it's really odd that there's not been any contract talks at all with Conor Gallagher so far. I don't really think that makes an awful lot of sense. He's had an exceptional start to the season. Yes, Newcastle probably his worst game of the season, like for a lot of players it was. But yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Like I can't imagine it being a difficult contract to sort out. Gallagher loves this football club. He's been here his whole life. In terms of coming through the academy, he's had a few loans at Palace, West Brom, etc., Charlton, right at the start of his career. But it makes sense to offer him a new contract. You know, Pochettino likes him. He likes his pressing. He likes his work rate. He likes his tenacity in there. He has improved slightly on the ball. He still needs to improve more on the ball. Still needs to rediscover that goal-scoring touch. Maybe add a few goals back to his game. But yeah, I don't see any particular issues with why we wouldn't be able to, why we aren't offering Conor Gallagher a new contract, other than maybe thinking we're just going to wait until maybe January, or we're just going to wait until the end of the season, and it's just one that can easily be done. So there's no rush. We have to try and sign an elite striker in January, because at the minute European football is unlikely. Wouldn't put it past us if someone comes in for Gallagher, he maybe goes. No, I don't think so, because we're not looking at signing any midfield players. So I don't think he does. Again, though, Gallagher has been operating in more of that number 10 position, or certainly the most advanced midfield player. When Nkunku comes back, is the need for Gallagher slightly less? You could maybe argue that, but I still think, regardless of what happens, it still makes total sense, whether Chelsea see a long-term future for Gallagher or not at the football club. It still makes total sense to protect his value, and sign him and get him tied down on fresh terms to protect his value, and then we can obviously decide what we want to do with him in the future. Guys, 15 more likes. Come on, people. Let's get it done. We've got 31 in the building. So let's make sure that we're running these likes up, guys. No excuse not to be hitting the 50 likes minimum, people. 50 likes minimum. So yeah, let's make sure that we do that, people. Come on, guys. It's not hard. It's quick. It's simple. It's free. The likes have just gone up quite a lot then. We now need 13 more. So come on, guys. Let's get it done. Let's get it done. Get this to 50 likes ASAP. It should be light work for you. What else we got going on here? I think Gallagher, Martin, Broja, and Madueke will be sold so that we get Osimhen. Oh, I don't think we need to sell that many players, but look, Martin and Broja, I think, will go at some point. Moscardo is fake news. Fabrizio said on Kickstream now. We better not have another Caicedo saga this summer or January. That killed me. I wouldn't be surprised if we had a potential Enzo Fernandez saga in January, but with Victor Osimhen. That wouldn't surprise me at all. I think there's definite potential for that to happen, people. There is absolutely the potential for that to happen. I don't know. It's an interesting one with Gallagher. I get he wants to stay here. The manager likes him. I think the only reason that he would leave is if he feels that he's not wanted at the club, or he feels that, he's not going to get some minutes that he needs to further develop his game, the minutes that he needs to keep himself in the England squad and all that sort of thing. But I think at Chelsea, he's an important player for us this season so far. Is he good enough to be a mainstay at Chelsea over the next 3 or 4 years? That is a different question, one that I don't know the answer to, one that I have my doubts about. But as I'm saying, it doesn't make any sense to be looking to get rid of Gallagher. It really doesn't make sense. I just don't think that's the way we should be going. If we get an elite striker in January, you think we'll get top 6? It depends where we are come January and how far off it we are. But if we're within touching distance, I think so. I've always been a Tony guy. I've always said I've been a Tony guy. I don't care if he said he'd like to play for Liverpool or Arsenal. It doesn't bother me. He would happily come to Chelsea, I think. And for me, Tony makes the most sense. But yeah, I think maybe there's more people within the hierarchy prefer Osimhen. The new ownership have always gone on about getting like a statement signing, a marquee signing. Osimhen would certainly be that. But I think Ivan Toney ticks a lot of the boxes for Chelsea. I'd feel more comfortable with us signing Ivan Toney than Osimhen. And I think he maybe potentially fits better for us. Connor needs to stay. He's proved himself and changed a lot of minds. I agree, he absolutely has. He deserves a new contract. And then from there, we can obviously decide kind of what we look to do with him. That would be how I see it right now. But let's move away from that. And I guess just in summary of this, which has been nicely summed up here. Let me just quickly bring this up now. The January plans in a nutshell then, guys. Up for sale, Chalobah and Sarr. Will listen to offers for Ian Martson. And then players who are potentially considering their own future, Madueke and Broja. The Madueke one's is a really odd one. Tony, for me, because I don't want to break the bank for another striker. No, that's fair. I hear it. I always have a slight worry about strikers spending big money on centre forwards at Chelsea, because none of the big money forwards have worked out at Chelsea. That's the reality of where we're at right now. None of the big money forwards have worked out. Osimhen would be an exciting signing for sure. Would I maybe get Osimhen on the back of the shirt? I probably would. But there's just that worry. Like, all the things that Osimhen's doing are, as I've said many times before on the show, all the things that Osimhen is doing are all the things that Lukaku was doing in Serie A, that everyone was bigging up Lukaku for doing, and kind of look how that worked out. I'm not saying it's going to end up like a Lukaku situation if Osimhen does come, but yes, we know that he likes Chelsea. We've seen pictures of him in a Chelsea shirt. We know that Drogba's one of his idols. We know all that. But ultimately, if we're thinking about it on a purely footballing basis, do we think that Victor Osimhen has got the attributes to be a success at Chelsea? Will he adapt to the Premier League? Will he hit the ground running like we need him to? I just think there's more chance of Ivan Toney making a bigger impact than Victor Osimhen, and that might sound strange to some people, but that for me is how I see it. But January is going to be really interesting in regards to Madueke. I don't think he goes anywhere in January, but I think come the summer, if his position's not really changed too much and he's still barely getting any minutes, he's getting 5 or 10 minutes here and there in games, he's not really starting games, then I think he'll look at that, because he's a player that does have immense ability. We've seen what he does in the England under-21s. He's probably too good for that level, but he's probably not quite made that transition to senior level just yet. He's still very young at 21 years of age. I still think there's a player in there, but I think for me, a loan could be the way to go for him in terms of just developing himself as a footballer, developing his career, getting the minutes he needs. I just think that Madueke needs to go and play football, and at the moment at Chelsea, he's not getting that chance. Now he needs to get his head down, he needs to train hard. I'm not suggesting he's not training hard. And he needs to just get himself back in the mix. And when he does get opportunities, make the most of them. I mean, 5 minutes away at Newcastle at the weekend, there's not an awful lot you can do with that. I wonder when he's going to get more of an opportunity. He's only started one game in the Premier League this season. And look, he's someone that I think came in for £35 million, last January. Was it £35 million total? Was it £29 million fee and then 35 million potentially with add-ons, something along those lines? So he didn't come in for a huge fee. But again, Yeah, no, Poch was at Spurs when Madueke was there, but Madueke was in the under-18s when Poch was there. So yeah, that's kind of a bit different. He was never in the first team squad. Maybe he might have gone and done a few first team training sessions for sure, but yeah, he was never in the first team squad. Yeah, Jackson will be a good squad rotation player for sure. Definitely think he can be useful in that department. Guys, we still need 12 more likes. Come on, people. Let's get it done, guys. 12 more. There's definitely at least 12 of you in here that haven't smashed that like button. So, guys, I'm expecting to see those likes go up right now. Come on, people. It's been a good show so far. You're getting it done. So, people, make sure you're hitting the like button. I can't stress enough how important it is and how how you need to do it, guys. Come on. 50 is not a difficult target to hit at all. So yeah, please do smash a like. It's the quickest and easiest way of supporting myself and the channel. It boosts the content to more people. It boosts it in the YouTube algorithm and all that good stuff. So yeah, guys, come on. Let's run it up, people. We should be hitting that 50 likes ASAP. We really should. What else are we got going on here in terms of January news? Not really too much more to add on the January front, guys. Bro is another interesting one. I don't think he'll leave in January, but I think, you know, when another striker inevitably comes in, I think what I'm trying to say is, the way I'll phrase it is, I think this is Bro's last season at Chelsea. I don't see a situation where with Jackson, with Nkunku, and with Tony, Osimhen, whoever it may be, I don't see how Broja stays at Chelsea next season. One, because the minutes aren't going to be there. Two, because he would be pure profit on the books, and we spent money. We might not have the Champions League revenue money next season. Academy players, again, represent pure profit on the books and the best value. So, yeah, I'd be shocked if Broja was here next summer. Yes, you know, I'd like to see him have more of a run in the team and whatnot and see what he can potentially do. But if I'm being honest, I just don't see him at the team next summer. Geordie, big yourself up. Yep, we will be coming for revenge in the Cup in a few weeks' time. Hopefully dump you out the Carabao Cup after, we were humiliated at the weekend. I think that's fair to say. Yes. Keep smashing those likes, people. You know what to do. But yeah, look, that's kind of the January transfer window so far, guys. I'm sure we'll get more and more news coming out as we count the days down to that window. It kind of feels like that's all Chelsea fans have got to look forward to at the moment on that front. So yeah, it's we do seem to like that. We seem to like that. So yeah, what can we do? If you don't like this, we've done that. Well, I mean, I don't. Oh, I miss it in terms of Champions League football, but I don't miss it in terms of last season when, we got done by them quite convincingly, which was a shame to say the least. But yeah, anyway, let's move away from January. Let's talk about sort of the softness within the squad. Reece James's captaincy. Is it too soon for him? All that sort of thing. Yeah, I was discussing this on the show last night. You know, if you're looking at, I mean, look, again, if we come 6th or 7th, whatever, Europa League football, fair. But I understand that if we became like 15th or something, then obviously you would look at the job. But I think if the ownership generally wanted Champions League qualification this season, then they should have assembled a squad that was capable of doing that. And right now, this squad's not capable of doing it. There's too many new players. There's too many young players. There's too many inexperienced players. If you wanted Champions League football as a realistic target this season, then you should have addressed that in the summer with players that are ready to make an impact in the first team squad pretty much straight away. So the fact we've gone down this route makes it very difficult to qualify for the Champions League. And what's more worrying is that I hope the ownership didn't think that this squad was actually capable of qualifying for the Champions League, because that's a bit of a damning indictment on them as well. But let's move on to, we've done that one. Let's talk about what Nizar Kinsella's been talking about in the Evening Standard today. For he's obviously reporting that Pochettino feels the Chelsea squad is too soft. His feeling is they continue to ignore his advice about being more competitive, meaning Players must be willing to make contact with either the ball or opposing players in duels, be ready to use the dark arts and really strive for victories. Yeah. I think, look, I understand what he's saying, but again, these words don't carry the most weight because, you know, he came out and talked about cancelling training and getting the guys in on their day off in the press conference, and then went back on his word and gave them the day off anyway. So we're talking about being soft, and I think the squad probably is a bit soft, but it's not the best example to set from the manager to be coming back, soft and all that. So yeah, I get it. The team probably is soft. There's a lack of discipline, as I was saying yesterday. Lack of discipline, lack of leadership. You know, not like pussying out of 50-50s. Like all this stuff is a problem. Do we use the dark arts enough? Probably not. Do we really dig in and strive enough for victory? No. Right now we probably don't do that. That is the reality of the situation. Right now we probably don't do that. So yeah. I mean, what can I say? What can I say, people? We don't really do that. It's a strange one. One thing I just want to quickly go back on before I just want to quickly go back to something about talking about signing of the youngsters. It's funny how basically when you look at the squad now, sort of what we're missing, people, is experienced players at the elite level to compete for the top four. Yet you just constantly see us being linked with inexperienced prospects. Now I know this maybe isn't true, but it does start to give you maybe a few doubts about the projects. You know, are we going to acquire more? We're going to obviously expand the multi-club model, more places to send these players. I get that. Sell them for profit. I get that. But, you know, I get it that young prospects are good additions to the squad when you've got a good mix of experience in there too. But we don't have that mix of experience in there. So if this is the route we're going down, and we have to accept and get used to, we have to get used to more inconsistent results if this is the route that we're going down. Because if you're not going to bring in experienced players, then don't expect to get convincing results. So yeah, it's it's a mad one. But yeah, anyway, back to this about the team being soft. I think it is, you know. Some games we look bang up for it. Other games we're just not there. City being a prime example that we were bang up for it. We competed. We played really well. Newcastle, we were fairly even first half. We were okay. Second half, we just capitulated, fell apart. Like that's really poor. Really, really poor. I just don't get it. I really don't. You know, but yeah, we know that this Chelsea team's had a lot of problems over the last few years, particularly mentality. I feel like the mentality is starting to get a little bit better now. But at the same time, there's still a long, long way to go. And, you know, we're not competing in every game. You know, we are, you know, not competitive. We are pulling out of duels. We're not particularly using the dark arts. I'm not condoning like sort of quote unquote cheating, but gamesmanship is not really a huge part of our game. And when are we really, really striving and pushing for victories? Are we doing that? I'm not too sure about. But look, I mean, it's down to the manager to try and improve. It's down to the players to take a collective responsibility on that. But I mean, in terms of, I want to talk about the captaincy, really. And is this maybe too soon for Reece James to be captain? Now, I'm not just saying this based off the back of the Newcastle red card and letting the team down. Personally, in the summer, we obviously knew it was going to be between Thiago Silva and Reece James. We knew that. I admit that I was happy with either one. But as we've gone into the season, you know, and we've seen things kind of play out a little bit, I think maybe potentially might have been a mistake. I'm not saying it's definitely a mistake, but I think it's a possibility that it could be a mistake. I really do think that we've got things here so far that I just want to raise these 2 points quickly, and then I'll get into my thoughts on why I think maybe it's the wrong time for Reece James to be captain, or it's too soon on that front. I'm not sure if he's a natural leader necessarily. Again, not all captains are. This from the Nizar consider Reece James has been leaning on Thiago Silva for advice, which absolutely you should do, and even went to France during the international break to pick the brains of South Africa's Rugby World Cup winning captain Sia Kolosi. Again, look, good to get leadership advice from other people that have done it at the top level. I get that he's an inexperienced captain. I just feel that with Thiago Silva still at the club, would it have not been better to give Silva the armband and have Reece as the vice captain, and then naturally when Silva leaves the club, Reece is ready to step into that mold? I just think it's a little bit too early for him. And in terms of what else was I looking at here? Apparently, also saying that Reece James was chosen for the captaincy because he is someone who truly understands the tough club culture built by legends like Drogba, Terry, and Lampard. Maybe he does, but where I'm out on this slightly is what I'm about to explain now. Is just like, look, I think there's an issue right now with the fact that our captain and vice captain both have really questionable fitness records. I know it sounds a little bit harsh, but I just, having watched him this season, I'm just not sure if Reece James is ready to be captain of Chelsea. I think his lack of discipline and rash decision making obviously cost us at the weekend, and his injury record is not helpful either for a role that realistically you need to be present 9 times out of 10, and he's just not there. You've got to lead by example. And you have to lead by example, show levels of composure, show experience and leadership. And Reece, for Reece to do that in a difficult moment, makes it even worse. Now he's out next week as well. It's not a sign of leadership. And this is for a player who misses so many games anyway through injury, to now miss another one through suspension. I love Reece James. I think on his day he's a phenomenal player, world-class, undeniable in terms of his talent. But there's another side. When you wear that armband, you have to be a player who's going to command not only your own position, which he does, but the team around you, and show a level of maturity that others don't maybe have in the team, especially when he's a young player himself. But he's a lot more experienced. This is a guy who's played international tournaments. He's played winning in a Champions League final for Chelsea. I expect a lot more from Reece James. And I just think the burden of the captaincy might be a bit too much for him. And I think that actually it would have been better off for him to be vice captain for a season and then step in when Thiago Silva moves out. But I'm just not sure it's the right thing. Hopefully Fulham win tonight. Should we stay 10th? Yeah. And Enzo doesn't speak enough English to be captain. I think that was one of the reasons that Pochettino gave at the time. Look, I think Enzo could potentially be a future Chelsea captain. Absolutely, there's no doubt that he could well be potentially one of them. But I just don't think Reece is ready right now to be captain. I'm just not sure. Look, I love Reece James. He made a mistake. All players make mistakes and lose their heads. I'm not just reacting in the aftermath of what happened at Newcastle. I'm just looking at it. I'm just thinking he's not present the whole time. He's injured a lot. He seems to have a lack of discipline at times. I'm just not sure if he's ready to encompass everything that the armband brings with it. I think he'll go on to be a very good captain, but I just think, guys, that maybe this was a little bit too soon. I think maybe he's a little bit immature still. Yes, he's experienced. Yes, he's been part of big moments. Champions League, he's played in cup finals and whatnot. He's been to international tournaments and that sort of thing. I just think this might be a little bit too soon for him to be captain. I get why he was made captain, but I just think it would have made more sense to give Thiago Silva the captaincy and have Reece as vice captain, because now what you've got is your two top guys in your leadership group per se, in captain and vice captain who between them miss a large chunk of the season each year and are not available when you need them to be. Part of the captain is being available as often as you possibly can. And Reece just simply, he's just not, in my opinion, he's just not available enough. I just think this internet, and obviously the internet there was the Wi-Fi there was obviously not agreeing with Reece James potentially not being good enough right now already to be Chelsea captain. As it fucking connection dropped out a bit there. Apologies about that one, people. Yeah, Man United fan, you've made that point several times, but you'll be out of it this week, bottom of your group. So yeah, well done. We can't put Enzo captain out on the back, and I refuse that completely, James. Look, I'm not saying that James shouldn't be captain. And what I'm saying is that I think the move to make James captain is probably a season too soon. That's my honest thoughts. I just think he lacks maturity. He's not available enough. He needs to command his own position and command the team around him. I'm not sure if he does that enough. The big thing is not being available enough. Yes, he is obviously getting himself back up to full fitness. He's still yet to complete in 90 minutes. We need to get more 90-minute games out of Reece James. Maybe he would have played 90 against Newcastle if he didn't get sent off. Caicedo, I don't know much about him in terms of his leadership abilities. I'm really not sure. But yeah, it's just one of that. It's another one of them, innit, people? Another one of those ones where I just feel it's a little bit too early for Reece. And this is not me shitting on Reece, but it's an interesting one. It is an interesting one. But let's have a look on. Oh, what else we're going to talk about? Talking to Reece James, we're going to talk about Thiago Silva. I'd forgotten about that, and apparently Thiago Silva is open to staying at Chelsea, which I think obviously makes sense. That does make sense. I think we've got to respect him. If Silva wants to stay another year, then he stays another year. But I think it's got to be on the premise that he doesn't that he doesn't is not a regular starter. That for me is the main thing. But again, look, it's a difficult one because you don't want him to be, I don't say blocking pathways or taking up minutes from other players, but you almost feel the young centre backs we're really well stacked in centre half with the Fofana's coming back with obviously Colwell, Badia Shield, Disassi at the back there as well. But look, if it was me, I'm so in two minds about this one because Thiago Silva is one of my favourite ever players. I think he's a top player, phenomenal guy. What he's doing at his age is absolutely exceptional. It's just, I just don't know if it's I just don't know. I'm just torn on whether it's the right thing to do. That is my thing. Look, if he's happy to stay and be a bit part player, then fine. Let's do it. But apparently, according to Nizar Cancelo, Chelsea will make a decision on Thiago Silva's future next year, with his contract due to expire in June. Silva is open to staying at Stamford Bridge. This is kind of where I'm at it. His experience is absolutely key. No other player has got his level of experience in the squad. The thing is he happy to stick around and not play all as much? That's going to be on him. But look, if he wants to stay, let's let him stay. I think he's earned that right. Absolutely. I think he has earned that right. But then again, part of me is like, maybe do we need to move on from him? Maybe it's a really difficult one. It's a really, really difficult one. I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, Would it be a mistake to renew him? He's still very good. But do you not also think maybe from a Chelsea perspective, do we not think, hang on a second, do we maybe need to learn how to play without this guy? Is it about time we learn how to play without Thiago Silva? We've got very good players in Wesley Fofana, who's going to come back. I'm a huge fan of his. What do we do here? People, we're 4 likes away now from 50. Come on, guys. Almost 40 of you locked in. There's definitely 4 people that haven't smashed that like button. Let's get this to 50 likes, people. And subscribe to the channel if you are new round here, guys. Going to go for another sort of 5 or 10 minutes or so, people. So let's get those likes up to 50. Come on, guys. 4 more likes to do. It's not hard. Come on, people. Let's get this done. Do they? Man United want Timo Werner? Surely not. That's got to be a wind-up. Where's he put that? Oh, latest one. Surely not. I mean, that must be outrageous. Timo Werner, he's on the list of Man United for the winter. Man United have inquired about him. No offer or negotiations yet. Werner not satisfied with this situation in Leipzig, but the player's tendency at this stage is to stay at least until summer. One to watch in the next few weeks. That would be mad. And that would be mad. If Silva leaves, we need experience in the squad and leadership. Yeah, no, look, I'm more than happy for Silva to stay, but I do think it is time that we learnt to play without him, because that is going to be more beneficial for us in the long run, that we learn how to play without Thiago Silva. Because I think right now we're not too sure. I don't think we're that sure how to play with Silva, and that for me is the reality of the situation right now. Do we really know how to play with Thiago Silva, guys? That is the problem. I just don't know. That's kind of where I'm at right now, people. I'm just not sure. I mean, I love Wesley Fofana as well. I think he's such a good player. We just need a fit Fofana because he's got great speed at centre back. Our backline could use his pace, his attitude, his tenacity. You know, the team could really use all of that. You know, we just need him back, fully fixed. He's a top defender. I don't know what the best partnership going forward for Chelsea is. I probably think it's Badiashile, it's Colwell or Badiashile and Wesley Fofana. That I think is going to be Chelsea's best centre-back pairing long term. But yeah, I just don't know. It's a really difficult one because when you like a player so much and a player's done so much, they almost decide what they want to do, which is absolutely right. I just think from a Chelsea perspective, is it the I don't know. Is it the right thing to do? Have we got to sort of take a bit of sentimentality out of this decision and do what is essentially what is best for the football club? Is it best that we move on from Thiago Silva and learn to play without him? Or can we learn to play without him whilst he has a bit more of a bit part role, whilst the younger players that we've bought are going to be the future of the club, play more of a prominent role? It's a really interesting debate to have. I think it's one of those where you're like, yeah, well, we probably think he should stay, but equally, it's entirely down to him. Whatever he wants to do, then let's just let him do it. If he wants to stay, fantastic. If he doesn't want to stay, then so be it. Simple as that, really. But I can't imagine that he wouldn't want to stay. The only thing I have is, does he want to go and do one more season in Brazil? That for me, I think, is the way forward in my opinion. But yeah, look, people, Silva. I mean, it's going to be a sad day when he. Guys, we're 3 likes away. Come on, people. We need 3 more likes. We have 26 in the building. Numbers have slightly dropped. But But yeah, people, 3 more likes. Come on, guys. That's not hard to do. We can definitely hit 3 more likes before this stream is out. Come on, people. Let's get it done. Let's get it done, guys. No excuses not to get this done. But people, what are we saying in terms of in the chat? Let me know, guys. Should Silva stay or should he go? What are your thoughts, people? Let me know. I don't know. Silva staying would be good, even on rotational. Fofana injury prone and Badiashile to a degree. Yeah, look, I absolutely hear that. People, let me know your thoughts in the chat. Should he stay or should he go? Silva. What do we need to finally move on, or can we keep him and his experience for another season? Young centre backs can learn off him for another year. He plays a bit more of a bit part role. If he's happy to do that, then I do think it's a no-brainer. But I think if he does stay, it really can't be on the basis that he's starting every game next season. I know that sounds pretty harsh, but that for me is how I see it. Unfortunately, it's how I see it. But yeah, what can we do? What can we do, guys? One more like, people. One more like. Come on, guys. One more to the 50. But yeah, let's have a look. Silva stays, but Fofana should be the starter. Fair. I know this is off topic, but we could do another out-and-out 6 if Lavia is going to be out a lot. Taking out Caicedo. Look, I think we've got number 6. Look, Lavia, I think it's going to be a top player for us. In terms of 6's Ugachukwu is obviously there as well. We've got him. Look, maybe 6 is a profile that could potentially be missing. I don't know, but I just don't think we need any more midfield players. Is my honest opinion on the matter. I just don't think we need any more. I just don't think we need any more midfielders. But yeah, it is what it is, guys. It is what it is, people. What would be your ideal centre-back pairing if Cole, Badiashile, Disasi, Fofana are fit? I'll be honest, it's Fofana, and then it's one of Colwell or Badiashile. And I feel a little bit bad on Disasi because Disasi's had a good start to the season. I think he's a good player. But I think if I look at it long-term going forward, centre-backs with the most talent, for me, I think it's Badiashile and Fofana. I mean, Fofana is reasonably injury-prone. Badiashile has been out for a while as well. But look, for me, it's Fofana and then it's Colwell or Badiashile, but I'm slightly leaning towards Badiashile on that one. That would be my ideal centre-back pairing 100%. That would be what I would be looking to do for sure. Fofana and Cole would be best centre-back partnership. I don't know. I think Badiashile offers more than Cole. Look, we're blessed that we've got some very good players on our books. So yeah. What about the winger from Napoli? No, Scalia is not going to come to Chelsea. Chelsea aren't interested in him. They believe firmly in Mykhailo Mudryk. We don't need more wingers. So yeah, it would be a no on that one. I mean, I don't like Cole at left back. Against certain teams, you can probably get away with it and it works all right. But yeah, I'm not Cole at left back. I'm not a huge fan of that. That one isn't me. There's one more like to 50 people. One more person in here needs to hit that like button. That really isn't much to ask. One more person to smash a like. Come on, guys. One more person to do it would be great. Right, let's move away from Thiago Silva. Anyone got any general Chelsea questions they want to stick in the chat? Let me know. And then we will begin to round this one in the next 5 minutes or so. We've got 2 pro games in January. We've got what? FA Cup. We've got the FA Cup, obviously, in January. There's a 2-week break in January. We play Liverpool and we go to Anfield in January, and I'm not sure what the other game is. Maybe we've only got 2 league games in January, but 3 in total because we've got FA Cup as well. Would I start Broja over Jackson next game against Brighton? No, I probably wouldn't, to be perfectly honest. I don't think I would. But I could potentially see it happening, but I wouldn't do that. in my opinion, only player I'd sign is Osan, maybe a 6. We've got defensive depth in midfield. Let's see Nkunku first. Yeah, no, I hear that. Who's going to play left back this weekend? Who is going to play left back this weekend? That is a very good question. Colwell, Levi Colwell is going to play left back this weekend. It's going to be Colwell left back and Malagusto right back. If not, I don't know what's going on there. Now this is not working. Fucking hell. Yeah, guys, can you hear me all right? Just let me know. Let me know, guys. Right, apologies, people. I'm back. Right. Okay. I don't know what was going on there. That was shite. We won like 5 out of our last 25 Premier League games. Yep, sounds about right. Something along those lines. It's not great from us. It absolutely isn't great from us. But yeah, I don't know. All good now. Fantastic, people. All good in the hood on that one. Yeah, guys, this probably be a good point to round this one out. So thanks so much for tuning in. As always, it is greatly appreciated, people. Make sure on the way out you keep smashing the like button. Subscribe to the channel as well if you are new around here. We've passed 7K now. Let's move on to 8K is the next target. People, I may well do a giveaway at 8K. I have a little think about it, but yeah, there might be a giveaway at 8K potentially. So yeah, keep pushing on to 8K. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Smash the likes on your way out. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for getting involved in the chat. Means a lot, guys. Let's see what Chelsea news we've got in store. I will be back live again. Not sure when I'll be live again. Probably Wednesday. But I'll be back with a video anyway tomorrow. There'll be some content on the channel tomorrow, so make sure you keep your eyes peeled for that. Smash the like, subscribe, enjoy the rest of your evening, and up the Chelsea, and peace out, people. Oh, yeah, fuck me to press that.